Yo, 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 what's up? We back. We is back. What it is. Mm-mm-mm.
4X. I go.
What it is. So Tay-K dodged the bullet. Kinda. Kinda, sorta. Hit that like button. Yeah, I'm ending my feud with J-Man, y'all. I've been going at J-Man neck for about 2 years now. Ending it. Best kept sadly, what it is. Tay-K ain't get a fair trial, man. There wasn't no way Tay-K could have got a fair trial in that state. In that county or that city, wherever it is. Uh-uh. Wasn't nowhere. That man was in down there all Hispanic town. The only black kid on the case. There wasn't no way he was getting a fair trial, man. No way, no how. Damn near all the witnesses was Hispanic. The other suspects was Hispanic. And he was the only black kid. Tay-K ain't standing a chance. He ain't getting nothing yet. We're gonna check it out. I want to hear closing arguments. Yeah, but before we do that, right? Yeah. Shorty, just got a bond reduction. But so let me tell y'all what the issues I had with J-Man, right? And the only reason I say I ain't got no more beef with him, because he backed off the bullshit. And the bullshit was the push and peace movement, man. The push and peace movement was bogus. I didn't fuck with J-Man for the same reasons I didn't fuck with the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, I ain't gonna say I don't believe, because it's obvious that people do this. But you shouldn't have to push an agenda when that's not your real motive. Your motive is really money. So I never liked the push and peace movement because I knew it was unattainable. You understand what I'm saying? I knew it was unattainable. It was just something that people can get behind, but in reality, it wasn't no peace being pushed. It was all about J-Man monetizing and reaching the next level of success, and he did. You know, I just don't like the fact that people use real situations to do it. Like I told y'all, Black Lives Matter used police brutality and black pain to push gay rights. That's what they did. It's obvious. You know, I called it out back then. I think most people, if you look back at it now, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, the motive was never protect black lives. That never was the motive. That never was the agenda. It was always something else. And they just used Black Lives Matter to gain steam. That's what J-Man did with pushing peace. And I can't get behind that. The minute he started, the crazy thing about it, right? Before J-Man started that pushing peace movement, I was fucking with him because he's funny. I mean, J-Man is funny. Not like Woody. Nothing is funny that Woody ever done. I mean, I never laughed at Woody. I don't think anytime I ever seen him do anything. Like, none of that shit is funny to me. Like, he's a fucking horrible person. Now, J-Man got some fly activity. I mean, held the girl for a shield, and that shit was wild. That was some crazy shit. But my biggest issue with J-Man, yo, was the motherfucking, you sitting here acting like you pushing peace, yo, and you know you can't do it. You know you can't do it. You know it's not attainable. And the reason why it's not attainable, y'all, is because, yo, in order to push peace in any city, then you got to be somebody that strike fear in people. Like, if you're not striking fear in people, ain't nobody listening to you. You can't do that shit through the internet. You got to do that shit boots on the ground. Even the old block shit, it was like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this shit is it's not gonna serve any purpose. It's not gonna stop anything. It just was all content. That's the word that people like to use. It was all content, and I couldn't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it. But now, years later, he saves that moved away from that. You know what I mean? And I respect much more now that he moved away from that fake ass pushing peace movement and just stuck to being funny, stuck to doing skits. Just do what he do. You know what I mean? Just do what you do, yo. Get your money, and yeah, go ahead, get rich. But don't use something so serious. You know what I mean? Don't use something so serious. Well, fear, respect, it's all about the same. Give a strike of fear. I would say reputation. Yeah, yo, but how do you get reputation? Like, where do you get a reputation from? You get reputation from your street activity, bro. Yeah, maybe fear was a bad word, but respect. You gotta have respect and fear. You gotta have that in order to push peace anywhere, because niggas ain't gonna listen to you. Because there gotta be consequences for not getting behind this movement. If there's no consequences, niggas ain't gonna listen. That's just what it is. It has to be consequences. It has to be, yo, look, this is what we on. If you ain't on this, then you got to either roll or we gonna deal with it accordingly. J-Man couldn't do that. J-Man ain't never did that. So I just was like, yo, come on, bro. Like, yo, that's bogus, my nigga. I mean, that movement bogus, yo. You know you can't get it done. No, you can't get it done. So I just ain't never like it. I never respected it. I thought it was low morale. I thought it was goofy. I thought it was all of that. You feel me? And you fast forward now, you see he couldn't get it done. It wasn't. I don't even think that was actually ever the motive. He got pushed into going in the old block. You know what I mean? Because everybody was like, damn, bro, if you pushing peace, that's why I always respect FBG Young. Utmost respect for FBG Young. FBG Young had the same mind frame I had. Like, yo, come on, J-Man, that shit goofy, bro. Because he knew, just like I knew, and I'm from Baltimore, I ain't even from Chicago, but I just understand how this shit work. Like, bro, you can't get that shit done, my nigga. What lives did he save, bro? Who lives did J-Man save by pushing peace, bro? Motherfuckers is dying in Chicago right now. If we look up Chicago news right now, niggas is dying. What lives did he save? T Savage? Come on, man. Y'all niggas be saying anything. They ain't say no goddamn lives. Yeah, because he wasn't even, and that's the thing, even when it came down to the O-Block, he wasn't involved in that. Like, J-Man wasn't a threat like that to even be trying to push. He wasn't even a threat like that to even be trying to push that line. Like, I'm going to be the one to stop the beef between O-Block, and then at that point, everybody was dead anyway. I just ain't like it. I just ain't respect it. I thought it was goofy. And I didn't think he had to do that because I always thought J-Man was funny. Naturally funny. Like, without even trying, the guy's funny. Like, you didn't have to do that, y'all. Or, I don't have to say you had to do it. What if I told you I got a real job, Raymond? What if this is a real job? What if this job pays? What you talking about, dumbass nigga? Fuck out of here if I laid on your stupid ass. Yeah, but, yeah, I ain't never respected. Thought it was goofy. But since he backed off of it now, I can respect it more. I just wish he didn't use something so serious, you know, something that people really want to see. You know how many people wanted to see peace in Chicago? You know how many people want to see peace anywhere? Like, damn, bro, you ain't had to use that, yo. Just like Black Lives Matter ain't had to use black pain to push gay rights. If people gonna get behind you, they gonna get behind you, bro. You know what I mean? Oh, so Gayle King went to space. Did y'all see this?
Yeah. I just have to have a moment with the ground. Let me just appreciate the ground for just a second. Over here. Yeah.
Yeah, she went to space. So I think Katy Perry went or something like that. Motherfuckers went to space on niggas. We got video footage of it.
We haven't seen it. I want to see it myself.
1, 2, 3, take us space! Woo! Here's the gate. Flynn up there. Flynn, I got you. I got you, Flynn.
That's what real money do.
Oh, the moon. You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. Look. Okay. Look at the moon. Oh my gosh. So much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's amazing.
Wow.
Gosh, that's good.
I know. Katie's face says it all.
They
We
did
haven't
an
seen
interview?
it. I want to see it
Hold up,
myself.
y'all. We got a detour. We'll get the Tay-K. Gayle King in space.
Orientate the viewer. Where are we exactly? Well, a couple days ago, I
must have
caught up with one
came
of
out
our
and said
astronauts.
that.
As I mentioned earlier, Lauren Sanchez is a pilot.
Actually send them out as soon as we spot the capsule. And there's little Rose, Katie's daughter, who is just
Daisy.
Daisy, excuse me, who has
Daisy.
just seen her mother go to space and come back. I'm sure she cannot wait to say hello.
But they just went right up and came right back
as
down?
I was mentioning, the recovery crew is heading out there. We send them out as soon as we can see the crew capsule and spot the crew capsule descending. There will be at least 2 trucks
Look
that
like
go
they in the
out
middle of
there. What
fucking
you'll
space.
see is they will come around the capsule. We also have crew member 7 who's in there. She will run out, go around to each window, make sure that each astronaut is fine, and the recovery crews will safe the capsule before we
I want to hear the interview.
astronauts.
I want to hear what they said
A
afterwards.
completely successful flight, one of the smoothest flights we've had so far. And we're now just awaiting
How big is that capsule?
the opening of the hatch so we can get some views from our 6 new astronauts.
Phelps. Phelps.
And I would imagine Lauren Sanchez in seat 1 will be coming out first.
That is correct. They'll go, she's in seat 1, which is next to the left, the left window there. She will go first. And then last in number 6 is Carrie Ann. That is the window on the right.
Sky Canyon.
Of the capsule.
That was 250,000. But they had to pay 250,000 for this.
Thank you, Jesus. Oh my God. That was amazing.
So proud. So proud.
Is that Jeff Bezos? Did Jeff Bezos pull this off? Yeah, no, we're gonna get the Tay-K.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Talking in the capsule doesn't even have ear piercings. She's so
Okay.
afraid to do anything. And she got in that capsule, and I think, like, it profoundly changed her. I mean, for me, I can't put it into words, but, like, I looked out the window, and we got to see the moon.
And it was pink. Was it pink?
Full moon. It wasn't pink, but it was almost full. And Earth looked so... It was so quiet.
Where the fuck
It
is
was
the
just
video?
quiet. And,
Is it what you expected?
no. No.
Better.
I don't think you can describe it.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Because, you know what I was saying? It was like quiet, but then also really alive. And you look at it and you're like, we're all in this together. Like, that's all I could think about is like, we're so connected, more connected than you realize, because you
Whatever,
just see
we
right
gotta go
here,
back.
you see.
I want to see the launch.
Begin throttle down for Q limiting. Engine response looks good.
Look at that bitch ain't explode. Ladder motherfucker be explode.
Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. Mach 1, vehicle is supersonic. Engine back up to full throttle.
Supersonic, we have passed through max Q, maximum
Chamber pressures look
dynamic
good.
pressure. That's when the vehicle, the stresses between the atmosphere
Passing
and the
47,000
speed
feet
are at
climbing.
the maximum. So to punch through that is so important. You see the BA3 engines, it's firing beautifully. You see the stream of steam behind it. Those ladies right now are having an incredible view on their way to space. Passing through 80,000 feet, 1,300
Passing
miles per
85,000
hour. You're going to peak at about 2,300 miles an hour over Mach 3, 3 times the speed of sound. Shortly coming up, we'll have MECO, main engine cutoff. We will turn off the engine, but the two craft, the capsule and the booster, will continue their ascent to
Stand by
space.
MECO. Stand by MECO.
And our
And
Stand by separation.
there you
They just go through the atmosphere.
The main engine is turned off. We're now going to
the
separate
engine
the
is cut off.
capsule from the booster, and at that point, Kristen, that's when all 6 astronauts are going to start to feel the weightlessness, and shortly thereafter, we're going to let them unbuckle.
Separation is confirmed.
And that right there is the most critical milestone of this whole ascent. Oprah watching her
I'll
best
be like,
friend
man,
go to
fuck that.
space.
I ain't going up that bitch. I'll be like, shit. Yeah, you can go. What's up, man?
And the two craft is separated. 300. That is the rocket that is streaming back down to the capsule to its landing spot just 2 miles north of where it's
Capsule coming back down.
from. At the top of the rocket,
Said it's
you see
fake?
a couple of things that have popped out. Those are to stabilize
I don't know
the
if it's
rocket
fake,
as
bro.
it comes into land.
Like, I don't know if it's fake.
You will see the drag brakes that deploy that will cut the speed of the rocket in half, and then in the last moments,
And there it
we've
is.
got-
We can see it from the stage.
there comes the rocket down. It's going to relight its engine. We're going to also see a sonic boom. We're going to hear that shortly here.
And remember, this is something that had never been done before until just a few years ago. Truly the stuff of science fiction that you're about to watch in just seconds.
Here we go.
Ending your life.
And booster touchdown, welcome home, New Shepard.
Picture perfect landing right there.
Picture perfect landing.
Right on target.
See that dust kind of creates this dramatic cloud that reveals the beautiful rocket that has just taken these ladies up to space and back.
And I love the echo across the mountains. Is that what I was hearing there?
That's what
Nice
you were
touch.
hearing. You heard the sonic boom, then you heard the engine relight, and all of that reverberates in this big, beautiful valley in West Texas.
Stand by, folks. Stand by, folks.
All right, shortly here we're waiting to see the drogue parachutes deploy from the crew capsule. Those
they
are like
coming
the
back
dive
down?
parachutes. There we go, the drogue parachutes.
Just free falling right there until those drugs came out.
And then next will
They
be the
screaming and
main
shit.
parachutes that get pulled out.
Hear that screaming inside the capsule?
And all three parachutes reefing, and they will slowly inflate, slowing the capsule to a nice, smooth 10, 15 miles an hour.
Where was that
They're
video?
cruising back home.
3 good parachutes.
And I tell you, Kristen, from having gone through all of the simulations, I have gone through all of the training. They put you in the capsule that simulates all of this, including the sounds, and when you hear the motors of the parachutes pop out, that is the best moment in flight.
That's all I could think
All right,
about.
let me
Is
hear
like
it. Let's
we're
how
so
it's going.
connected, more connected than you realize, because
One thing to say you're going to do it, it's another thing to actually do it. And I know there's a phrase in your family that life takes off on the other side of fear. And here you are, just having landed back on Earth, and now you are officially Lauren Sanchez, already adding to your extensive resume. You are an astronaut. Congratulations.
thank you. I'm very excited. I'm excited to share it with the world, and I'm so grateful to everyone here.
I love you. Go be with your family. But
Process and download what just happened to me.
well, get on in here, Amanda. Someone that can now articulate exactly how Lauren is feeling. Lauren being so candid about overcome with emotion. How are you feeling? I know, Amanda, this has been a dream of yours, a long-awaited dream, and now it is finally official. You are an astronaut. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I usually have nice words to say, but in this moment, I just want all survivors to know that you can heal. No dream
Yeah,
is
they
too
came right
wild.
back down.
And that if it's so wild out there, like going to space, you can absolutely make it through, and it can absolutely be possible.
You mentioned to us prior to going up, you said that you needed to go to space to heal. I know you're only a few minutes removed from this incredible experience. Do you feel healed?
I had a zero-G indicator that I didn't know if I would bring, and I ended up bringing it.
And explain for the folks at home that don't know what that means, what it is that you're holding.
Yes, the zero-G indicator is something all astronauts have that floats once you hit space, lets you know you're there. I brought a promise that I wrote to myself. I've talked about that.
And share what is this right here?
Yes, and this one I didn't know if I would bring, but I ended up bringing it and floating it, and it's the hospital van from the day.
The fuck happened now?
I got to
Come on,
honor
man. We ain't
her
trying to
today,
get us in a minute.
and I'm so grateful.
I will let you go enjoy this historic moment with your family, and thank you for sharing it with everyone to be able to do that. You told us beautiful story about your son.
That's
And I spoke to your best friend prior to you taking off, and I asked her why it was so important for you to do this. And she said, so she didn't have to hear you say, I wish I would have done that.
So true.
But now, Gail King,
true.
you are
So true.
officially an astronaut. How do you feel?
I still can't accept that word, but I will say I can't even believe what I saw. When somebody calls this a ride, this was not a ride. What happened to us was not a ride. This was a bona fide freaking flight. And our instructor, we were so well prepared. So every noise we heard, we knew. But the flight instructor said that I am her best success story. Why? Because she's never had somebody go through the course who's terrified of flying. Everybody who's gone through the course is somebody that's been a lifelong dream. They wanted to do it. So she said, I'm her best success story. I'm so proud of me right now. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe
I was
it.
just going to say, prior to the launch, you said that you would be so proud of yourself if you went through with this.
Yeah.
And you did. What was the best part, Gail?
It's oddly quiet when you get up there. It's really quiet and peaceful. And you look down at the planet and you think, that's where we came from? And to me, it's such a reminder about how we need to do better, be better. Do better, be better human beings.
And what do you mean by that?
Processing. Well, it's so nasty and so vitriolic nowadays. And I mean, if everybody could experience that peace that we had up there and the kindness and what it takes to do what we did, all the people that it took to get us up there and get us back safely, I'll never, ever, ever forget. And when we were up there, have you talked to Katie yet?
I have not.
Okay, when we were up there, after zero G is very difficult. You know, all the training about this is how you get in the chair and this. I look like a friggin' moose getting in the chair. It was like, just let me get in the chair. Let me get the seatbelt on. But, you know, we had a very do this.
How would you describe it?
It's very difficult because you're floating. But the best part was when we got back in our seats after zero G's, Katie sang, "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
That nice.
Oh, come on.
She sang, "What a wonderful world. I see
Did you
trees."
yourself start
Oh,
crying?
yes.
Oh.
Because we've been asking her to sing all the time, and she wouldn't. And then, because everybody said, sing Roar, sing Fireworks. And she said, it's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world.
Wow.
I know, isn't that nice? You got to ask her about that.
That's really special. And when Lauren got out, she was overcome by emotion for a lot of reasons, and rightfully so. But she spoke to the group and how close you guys have all become because of this experience. How would you describe the camaraderie that you guys now have together?
I would say that we are forever bounded, because you can't go through what we went through to look out for each other, to help each other, and not be changed by that. You know, it really is a true, people throw the word around, but it really is a true sisterhood. But it speaks to how we were set up for success. The training was so, I can't stress this enough. The training was so friggin' good. We were set up for success. And it went exactly as they told us it was going to. Every boom that you heard, the drones, the drogues coming out, the parachutes coming out, it went exactly as they said.
Are you glad you did it?
I am glad I did it.
Yeah.
I am very glad. I have no regrets about doing it.
What would you say to people watching right now that are scared, that are fearful of anything? What would you say to them?
Well, I just said I'm stepping way out of my comfort zone, because this is so not like me. I said up there, I might now get my ears pierced. I've always been afraid.
Which is great. I love that you've never had your ears pierced.
No, even Hootie at the training center, you don't have your ears pierced? I go, because it hurts.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, for people that are afraid, Eleanor Roosevelt once said, courage is doing something that scares you, but you do it anyway. And I stepped out of my comfort zone in a way that I never thought was possible for me. And now that I've done it, I really do feel I can take on anything. Anything.
Congratulations, Gail King. You are an astronaut.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. And I'm going to go with you to get your ears pierced, because I want to get another hole right here. Go enjoy this with your family. Thank you so, so much. Aisha, oh my goodness. Congratulations. Congratulations. You are officially an astronaut. How do you feel? Also, how do you look perfect after just going to space? I mean, my goodness.
I will never be the same. I mean, when you get up there and you see the Earth, and it's so beautiful, and it just fills the screen, and it's not just your window, it's like everybody's window, and there's no boundaries, there's no border, there's just Earth. It's incredible.
You know, Gail is so honest that this wasn't her dream, but this was a dream of yours. How do you feel now that you just achieved it?
Like I picked the right dream. And when we landed, I said, Exuma, I'm good blue calm, but I'm ready to go back.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What was the best part for you?
The best part for me, actually the whole thing. But we got in and we counted down from 10. And then I started to hear some singing. And when we lifted off, everybody, you could just feel the energy in the capsule. And when we got up there,
No, they ain't come from the moon. They said they stay in the moon.
And there was this moment.
It's a video. See, I'm trying to find a video. It's a video.
1, 2, 3, take us stay!
The moon right there.
Flynn, I got you. I got you, Flynn. Oh, the moon. You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. Look. Okay. Look at the moon. Oh my gosh. So much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's amazing.
I was trying to find that video. I don't know where the fuck that shit at though.
I can't wait for people to see it on the video, but there was a very special moment between all of us. And it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Where is your grandfather? Your 92-year-old grandfather, who I know you were so excited to bring. What did he say to you when you got?
So why
out of
everybody
this
thinking this
capsule and
fake?
got
Yo,
to
y'all don't think we could? Y'all don't think people can go to space? Why everybody think it's fake? Y'all don't think in 2025, yo, with the technology we got, that they can shoot some shit like this into space with people on it and come back? Seriously, niggas, people don't think that that's possible. That's crazy.
He said, I was really worried for you, but then Oprah squeezed me.
Oprah has a way of making us all feel just a little bit more at home and a little bit calmer.
Don't understand
I know your
technology,
father
man.
is watching down on you, and he is your angel. What do you think he's thinking right now in heaven?
I think he was like, woo! To have the opportunity to have flown his star in my flight bag and to have a perspective.
Hell yeah, I believe they went to space. Yo, what the fuck? Y'all don't think, yo, it is 2025. Y'all don't think people can go to space? Yo, space ain't even that motherfucking far up, if we being totally honest. Space ain't even that far up, man. Why y'all don't think we can go to space? That's crazy. Google how high the air space is. Space ain't that far up, man. That shit probably like, I don't even think that shit 100 miles. Let's find out. How many miles till you get to space?
The distance to reach space is generally defined as 100 kilometers, 62 miles above sea level, known as the Kármán line.
Shit is 62 miles.
In the US, space is considered to begin at 80.4 kilometers, 50 miles.
Yo, y'all don't think we can fly 50 miles up in the air? Like, oh, come on now, y'all tripping, man.
Feel a renewed connection to everything in life and where we are, and I can't wait to go back out there and pour what I've learned into the world.
You have given so much to so many, and I know there are a lot of people watching right now, some young boys and some young
money, bro.
girls that are inspired constantly by you. What would you like to say to them?
They raised start doing it the way it's old. Like, this is just, they raised start doing it the way it's old. Regular people can pay. Like, it just costs money, bro. Costs money.
It and go and do it. I never really thought I could go to space, although I really wanted to go. And today just confirmed that dreams are real and sometimes reality is wrong.
And your dreams just came true. Congratulations. Go enjoy this with your family. Thank you for sharing your experience with
going
us.
Going underwater is totally different than going up in the air. Talking about going underwater, man. It's not the same. Going up in the air and going underwater is totally different. Totally different.
Katie. No, you're not the crier of the group.
Feeler of the group.
No, you are not.
I'm crier.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
We had these incredible shots of Daisy watching you as the rocket. It'll make me cry. As the rocket's going up, and she was so proud. She just kept saying, "Mommy, mommy."
Believe it, you won't believe,
and
man.
I know you'll feel the same way when you watch it. And you brought a real life Daisy up.
That's
it was
right.
important for you, not only because it's your daughter's name, but why else was that important to bring in?
Daisies are common flowers, but they grow through any condition.
But it's not
They go through
1975 anymore, man.
cement, they go through
It's not the
cracks, they
60s.
go through walls. They are resilient. They are
2025,
powerful. They
man.
are strong. They are everywhere. Flowers are,
Hey,
to
damn, they
make
got
God
flying
smile, but
cars
it's
up
also
this
a reminder of our beautiful earth and the flowers and God's smile and the beautiful magic that is everywhere, all around us, and even in a simple daisy. So to really appreciate it and remember it and take care of it and protect it.
Gail shared with us the song that you sang when you got up.
They probably
What
never
a
went to the
wonderful
moon.
world. Why was that important to sing that
Like, we
particular
ain't
song?
going to the moon and going to space is like they probably never made it to the moon. But going 62 miles up in the air, I think that is very feasible, man. With the technology that we got.
I've covered that song in the past, and
The moon not that close to the earth,
obviously,
man.
like my higher self is always steering the ship because I had no clue that one day I would decide to sing a little bit of that in space. But I think that it's not about me. It's not about singing my songs. It's about a collective energy in there. It's about us. It's about making space for future women and taking up space and belonging. And it's about this wonderful world that we see right out there and appreciating it. This is all for the benefit of Earth.
You have done
Probably
so
can.
many incredible things
And
in
I
your
can agree
life,
with that.
selling millions of records, selling out stadiums. Where does this
Like you
experience
said, they
rank
can't
for
go
you?
outside the earth. I think that's a stretch.
This experience is second to being a mom. Wow. Yeah. That's it. And that's why it was hard for me to go, because that's all my love right there. And I have to surrender and trust that the universe is going to take care of me and protect me, and also my family, my daughter, because like I am full up
I know.
from being able to get that gift of being a mom, and to go to space is incredible. And I wanted to model courage and worthiness and fearlessness.
You did. You said you wanted to go to space for the fearless women in your life as well, your sister and your mom. What was their reaction when you got to see them after you got off the capsule?
I have only seen my mom, and I was like, "Are you okay, Mom?" She just knew.
You ain't
She
hear about
knew.
you
She
ain't,
was
you ain't,
totally-
ever you weren't on here last night when we was talking about what the aliens did to the Soviet soldiers? You weren't on the live last night when we talked about that? Yeah, let me get back to this J-Man situation. So J-Man had a conversation with Tay Savage, right? Yo, this is dangerous right here. I mean, maybe it's not dangerous in Chicago, but a rap in my city got put in a messed up situation for this exact same mind frame. Yo, you cannot. For one, yo, if you're a rapper, right, and you an older rapper, and you kind of like move past this street shit, yo, stay away from them young boys, man. And if you do fuck with them young boys, you can't fuck with the young boys and then go fuck with their ops. But listen to what J-Man asked Tay Savage in his response.
Bloodhoundians is hit different. It's been going up lately. What's your thoughts on the Bloodhoundians?
They actually be out here. They be out here, but shit. What about them?
Being as how much that they name be attached to, would you do songs with them? Being as though they popping, but they be attached to a lot of different things, and they name be involved in.
Yeah, I do. So I actually was hollering at Vert. Like I did songs with people like Spooky Duke from Memphis. They got all type of shit going on. Shit, we just working.
When it comes to Tay Savage, do you pick sides in this? If you whooping with Bloodhound, can you not whoop with whoever they whooping against?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm with the money, bro. I ain't finna be mixed up in no beats, but it depends on how locked in we is too. You feel me? But I ain't like be doing it like, oh, I f with him, so I don't want. If I like his music, I'm gonna do it. But if we super locked in, like on some ties, I know it's over with. Then if they don't like you, I hate you.
The Bloodhound,
man, he better keep that that second mentality. You start fucking around with them young boys, and then start fucking with their apps, and then think you're gonna go back and do another song with them. Tay Savage gonna find himself in a tight spot. All right, so Karmelo Anthony. Now in this case, man. So Karmelo Anthony received the bond.
Within the last hour, a judge granted the request to lower the bond for a North Texas teen facing capital murder charges. 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet in Frisco. Anthony claims he acted in self-defense. Chris Sadeghi live from the courthouse in McKinney. And Chris, the judge heard from Anthony's family this morning before making her decision.
Yeah, Kara, this hearing just wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. In it, we heard from Karmelo Anthony's father. He testified about his son, and in the end, the judge did decide to lower the bond from $1 million to $250,000. Karmelo Anthony entered the courtroom handcuffed, wearing a yellow...
I don't think his bond should ever been no motherfucking $1 million. Like $1 million for a kid that ain't never been in trouble? No, hell no. It should never been no $1 million. It should always been $250,000. They really should have lowered that bitch down to $100,000. You know, because I told y'all, when you talk about bond, it's not just about the charge. You know, it's about the charge. It's about your status in the community. It's about your record. It's about all of that. You understand? So you got a kid that made a mistake, however people want to characterize it. But he don't have no history of violence. He's an A student, 4-star. They're like, come on, his bond should have never been no motherfucking $1 million, ever. His bond should have came in at $250,000. It should really drop that bitch down to $100,000.
Inmate jumpsuit. He spoke only to identify himself to the judge and stared straight forward while his father, Andrew Anthony, testified about how his son is the oldest of 4 siblings, a straight-A student, active in his church, and worked 2 jobs while serving as captain of the football and track team. To this point, he's not had any criminal history. All factors his defense brought up when asking the judge to lower the bond. The amount they were asking for was $150,000. The prosecution, though, argued the bond should have stayed at $1 million, even asking Andrew Anthony about the online fundraiser that's raised $412,000 for his son's defense. Ultimately, though, the judge said the purpose of bond is not a punishment, but to ensure the defendant returns for his court dates and to protect the community. If Anthony does post the $250,000 bond, he will be on house arrest, confined to his home with a leg monitor, and cannot leave unless the court grants permission. Asked by Judge Angela Tucker if he understood the terms of the bond, Karmelo Anthony simply said, yes. Austin Metcalf's family, the victim's family, was in the courtroom. It was a packed courtroom, not a seat to be had, and the judge did acknowledge the amount of...
This is a racist town. But we already dived into this town. 7% black, 65% white, racism in the schools. Like, we already done figured out what this town is about.
Scrutiny on this case, not only from the media, but the general public, pointing out that she's presided over many murder trials involving many different races, and that she has never scene. The amount of security precautions having to be taken by deputies as what they're seeing in this case. Kara, back to you.
Why do I gotta be racist? Because I'm saying that he deserved the bond. The fuck is you talking about? Do you want to start diving into some of these some white people that got off? You don't want to dive into that, do you? I'm sure you don't want to do that. Cause I could do that all day. We could change the whole we could transition the live into me just showing you white people getting the breaks of a lifetime. You don't want to do that. Cause I can definitely do that. I can show you cases where motherfuckers had drunk driving, killed 3 people on court probation. What you talking about? Do you want to do that? I did a whole video on it. I can show you. The fuck that girl name is. Let me show you something for the people that ask me am I racist. Let me show you something. Let me show you this. For the people that ask am I racist. Ask me, is this fair? So do y'all remember this case right here? Y'all remember this? Y'all remember the girl that rolled through the light? I don't even know what the fuck happened to her. And killed all them people. Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
In Thursday's chain reaction crash, along with her son, who was a few days shy of his first birthday, and her unborn child. Ryan's sister says she went by the name Ray Ray.
Listen to this.
Bullshit.
Last a car that crashed, killing a couple who was riding with her. And today, the family woman who was behind the wheel of a car that crashed, killing a couple who was riding with her. And today, the family was outraged when they heard her sentence. Local 10 News reporter Roy Ramos is live in Fort Lauderdale with all the emotion to this. Roy.
Lori, this was a difficult case for the family of the victims. They felt because this driver was under the influence, that is what led to the deaths of their loved ones. While the state attorney's office found otherwise, the judge ultimately just giving that driver 30 days behind bars.
30 days.
Pauline Kohanek has served 4 years of a minimum 6 years in prison after pleading guilty to 3 charges that include negligent homicide following a 2013 crash.
That's a whole nother case.
But
4
now
years.
Kohanek wants out of prison early and is asking the court to take 2 years off her sentence.
Don't talk to me, yo, about the justice system. Because I know this shit through and through. You understand me? These people get breaks every fucking day. Don't talk to me about no motherfucking break and call me no motherfucking racist. No, I want fairness. That's what I want fairness. Fuck is you talking about?
The general public would be deterred because a person can't come into court and ask for this suspension unless they've earned it.
So that's what it is.
Because I've never intended for something like this to happen.
Well, an emotional apology here from Ebony Whitaker. She was sentenced in a deadly DUI crash that took the lives of 2 16-year-old girls in August. Well, police say that Whitaker was high on meth, heroin, and PCP when she got behind the wheel. Whitaker will now serve up to 25 years in prison.
They gave her 25.
She was also ordered to pay thousands in.
Learned the woman who hit and killed 3 siblings at their Fulton County
Look what
bus
they gave
stop
her.
will not be released from prison this year. Alyssa Shepard will now stay in prison until March. That's because the judge found she could not take advantage of the community transition program. She was sentenced to 10 years.
10 years.
Deaths of Olivia Stahl
Killed 3
and
kids.
her twin brothers, Mason and Xavier Engel.
10 years.
But only 4 years were to be served in prison. She's
4
served
years.
3 more years on home detention, and then another 3
Do
on
we gotta
probation.
continue?
The judge ultimately ordered she spend 30 days in the Broward County Jail, sentenced to 12 months probation, $1,000
Do we gotta
fine
continue?
and 150 hours of community service, where she was ordered to speak to students about the tragic circumstances of driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
Police say Layla Bordeaux was on drugs when she crashed into that local family last year on I-71 near Powell. The jury found her guilty on 8 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. Lab results showed that Bordeaux had fentanyl in her system at the time of that crash.
Now we just listen. And listen to the fucking time that they give. Now this girl, they trying to give her motherfucking ass life. Look how much time she facing for the shit she did. Now every single one of them cases I showed had multiple victims. And I'm not excusing her behavior. I'm just saying keep that shit 100. Keep that shit how it's supposed to be.
The way this case has been charged,
Look how much time she facing.
what we do know so far with the limited discovery is that in the top screen that was performed on this victim, it came up negative for drugs or for alcohol. And there is no indication that she would flee the jurisdiction. She, in fact, does work. She's been referred to as a traveling nurse, but she works here locally in Los Angeles.
And how long has she been in the Los Angeles area working?
Approximately 1 year, Your Honor.
Does she have family or other local ties?
She is gone.
I bet he is gone. Bluffing ass nigga.
Her sister resides in Los Angeles. And with respect to the people's request for no bail, the offenses that are charged are capital offenses.
Are they? I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
So they just denied this woman bail. Come on, man. Don't talk that shit to me, man. Let's get back to the regular schedule program, man. Man, free Karmelo Anthony, man. He deserved to be free. Shouldn't have been charged. Talk that dumb ass shit to me, man. Alright, so Tay-K. Let's go to your sentence. I told y'all, Tay-K didn't stand a chance at even getting a fair trial. That man is basically in Hispanic land. And he the only black kid, and all the kids turning against him.
Decision. We can't walk it for you. It's going to be personal to each and every one of you. All we ask is that you hear the evidence.
So we're going to get to that.
You understand we're not trying to paint this boy as a saint. And I'm not asking you to forgive him for what he did. I'm just asking you to keep it all.
We'll get to that. We'll get up to speed.
All right, State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
No, he ain't out yet. It's going to take a couple hours to get out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand
Probably
you have a
by
right to
tomorrow.
jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits. Will only be allowed back in this courtroom. All right, if the defendant could please stand. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder. What did I, excuse me, no. No, out of the courtroom. Out of the courtroom now.
Damn. Maybe he can get a concurrent sentence now.
All right, ladies.
That's really what he deserved, man. Get that boy. He already got 55 years. Give him a concurrent 55 and let him figure that. That man shorty was 16 years old, man. See, but this the shit I be talking about. And then when I talk like this, you got people. Oh, he been no, hell no. This is what happens to other people. They don't be maxing them out when they young and they make a mistake. They don't max them out. They be getting 30 years and shit like that. Boy already got 55. What more do you want from him? His life, he gonna spend damn near all his life in prison. I'm glad he did beat the capital murder. But we'll see what the judge do.
Sometimes, as you can tell, people are invested, correct?
A lot of people murder.
So it says, we the jury find the defendant Tamar McIntyre not guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
United States murder
We
ain't
the
dead.
jury find the defendant Tamar McIntyre guilty of the lesser included offense of murder. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and do you want them polled as to both counts?
As to the count of conviction, Your Honor.
All right, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you if, in count 2, the guilty verdict for murder, if that is your verdict. If that is your verdict, I'm going to need you to respond yes. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
So we'll start on this end and work our way down. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
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 Is this your verdict?
They're alternates.
Oh, yes. All right. Back row.
Yes, sorry.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
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 All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen now is I'm going to allow you all to have your recess for lunch, and then we'll begin the second phase of the trial. All right? Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. So what we will do is I think if we all come back at 2 p.m., that should give everybody a chance to have whatever witnesses they need to have present. So we'll come back at...
So he getting sentenced today. They're not even giving him no motherfucking grace period. He's getting sentenced today.
I would like to talk about it in opening. I won't if we haven't ruled on it yet, but I think that because the law seems to indicate jurors are entitled to know, I thought it would be best if we could talk about it in opening, and I wanted to give you...
We can take it up in closing. I think that would probably be best.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Just a moment.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be no interest in justice case.
Exact same fingerprint.
No, not in my experience.
Who the fuck is
So when
he?
you say unique characteristics, does that mean fingerprints are unique and identified for every individual?
That is correct.
And is this something that's accepted across your line of expertise as an examiner?
Correct.
And can you just describe briefly the different characteristics of the fingerprint?
Oh, so typically they have 12 different characteristics consisting of ridge endings, bifurcations, island ridges, and other multiple characteristics to identify the fingerprint.
And again, this...
I'm on here with this. Yeah, he's getting sentenced today. Definitely getting sentenced today.
To him, breaking bones, breaking ribs. Maybe he had to run away and go live with his sister in Corpus.
Like I said, y'all told you I did a video. Tay-K had a rough life, man. Both his parents, he from California. Both his parents was in the gang. I think his father was locked up. His mother sent him, I think he sent to foster care. He ended up running away from foster care. And in the process of him running away, this is when he did all of this shit.
About Mr. McIntyre's past criminal history and about things that were going on while this case that you all have heard was developing. You're going to hear about Mr. McIntyre's pending case for a murder charge in Fort Worth, where he was found guilty, and he was punished for it as an accessory to the crime, as a party, not as the man who pulled the trigger, not as someone who was the direct and proximate cause of someone else's death, but as a participant in that criminal activity, much like you were charged in the law of parties in this case. You're going to hear evidence that Mr. McIntyre was on bond for that case when that happened. You're also going to hear evidence that Tamar McIntyre was 16 years old when this happened. He was a child.
Who?
You're going to hear evidence that...
Who too soft on no fucking United States ain't no too soft on the motherfucking criminals. They got picks. They ain't soft on black criminals. I tell you that motherfucking much.
Tamar's childhood up to that point was far from idyllic. He was
16,
in the foster
bro.
system with his
What you
sister.
expect from a 16-year-old?
He was brought back to
Probably
live
did
with
the
his
same thing
father,
at 16.
who was extremely physically abusive to him, breaking bones, breaking ribs. He had to run away and go live with his sister in Corpus. You're going to hear about how that affects him and how it impacts his judgments. And we need to always remember as we go through the evidence in this portion of the trial that we are looking at this whole circumstance through the eyes of a 16-year-old boy who has had a traumatic and horrible life and whose judgment was impaired. You heard testimony in the guilt innocence phase about the fact that Mr. McIntyre had consumed LSD the night before. And while a lot of time had passed before the incident that you all considered in guilt innocence took place, we have to acknowledge that there are impacts on his perception of this situation. Now, we talked in jury selection. Intoxication is not an excuse. Intoxication is not a reason why someone should not be held.
You can't say that. He gave the whole world a warning. Like, you can't just say that. He told everybody, buy stocks before he did what he did. So I can't even say that shit. That was a motherfucker should have took heed. Everybody could have made some money, not just the rich.
Criminally responsible. But it is absolutely something that you all should be considering when you're deciding what is the appropriate punishment. The punishment range for first-degree murder in Texas is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. And that's a huge range of time. And we understand, I think, that not all murders are created equal. While we go through this, I ask that you all have some patience with me and bear with me. Because while I know that we all agree on one central thing, which is that there was not enough evidence to convict Mr. McIntyre of capital murder, there was not enough evidence that Mr. McIntyre robbed anyone.
He ain't collapse it. That's not what Trump did. Trump put the tariffs on the countries, then told everybody to buy, and then he eased the tariffs so the stock market went up. That's what Trump did, bro.
We certainly have differences of opinion about different aspects of this case, which I'm going to do my very best to respect. But I don't know exactly why each of you made the decision that you made in the guilt innocence phase. Some of you may have made it for different reasons. You only need to be unanimous about the ultimate conclusion. So there are things that I'm going to talk about that you may think, well, that's him talking about self-defense. And I've already heard that, and I don't believe it's self-defense. And come on, like, stop talking about self-defense. But remember, just because someone isn't 100% in the right doesn't mean the other person isn't partially in the wrong. And we have to acknowledge that every human interaction is a two-sided coin. And that there are aspects about Mr. McIntyre's
You gotta understand about this, this trade war shit, this shit gotta happen, yo. Like, it has to happen, yo. Like, we just gotta see it through. Prices might go up, but, it has to happen, yo. Right now, everything's extremely high, yo. You can barely live out this bitch. You heard me? If you ain't making over $100,000 a year, you damn near struggling. You probably gotta do DoorDash, Uber Eats, motherfucking Lyft. You gotta do everything on the side. What Trump is doing needs to be done, yo. Like, stop falling to the media and what the fuck they say. The market gonna go back up. It always goes back up. It's gonna drop, it's gonna go up. It's like a fucking roller coaster. But what Trump is doing right now has to happen. It has to happen, yo. There's no way we can keep going this direction. There's no way we can keep going the direction where America is losing and everybody else is winning. You can't fall victim to the media and the narratives that they try and push. I bet you. Now look, If after this is done, it don't look better on the other end, then we can come down on Trump. But right now, I think the best thing to do is to see it out. But I don't think the good idea is to come down on him right now while all this shit going on. I don't know. Let it play out. Because basically all Trump doing is bringing everybody to the table. Everybody got to come back to the table. And we got to renegotiate this shit. Because we losing. I don't even think they're going to do that, bro. I don't think that's possible to make it $25 an hour or $30. That's not possible.
Perception on the world, his understanding of what was going on, the events that led up to being in that car with Mark.
No, the problem with China is, this is the problem with China. The dude from Shark Tank was talking about it. The problem with China is we sell China goods, but China don't sell ours. We allow China to compete in U.S. markets, but China don't allow us to compete in their markets. They're not over there in China riding American cars. You know what I mean? They're not using our products over there. So that's the beef with China. So it's like, yo, if we're gonna keep allowing y'all to make money over here, y'all gotta provide an equal space over there for us to make money as well. And I don't think that's wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, see it out. Don't blast the man yet. See it out. See what happened. Now, in 4 years, by the end of his term, if shit don't get back right, then it's like, damn, Trump, you fucked us. But as of right now, I don't got no problems with what Trump doing.
How responsible he should truly be in the grand scheme of things. Those are things that I ask you all to still consider, even though I gather you all have rejected the idea that what was done was justifiable by self-defense or otherwise. Keep those things in mind. Also keep in consideration things that relate to how Joanna behaved in all of this. While I understand that you all found Joanna credible enough to accept her testimony for the purposes of overcoming the accomplice witness rule, and I can understand y'all's reasoning there, please also understand that there are significant reasons why we should be suspect of Ms. Reyes' testimony, and those reasons have additional bearing into how you should make the decision to punish. Remember, Mr. McIntyre was 16 years old when this happened, but Ms. Reyes was 19 years old. Jeremiah was 19 years old. Mark was older than him.
Look at that shit, y'all. See, that's the bullshit. They blamed everything, all these Hispanics blamed everything on the youngest black kid. They blamed everything on yo, man. What if he ain't do it? What if he ain't do it, man? Because it's obvious, you know, we looked at a little bit of testimony. It's obvious that the witnesses were coerced. You got two witnesses that they brought up. One of the witnesses was behind the car that everything was going down there. The other witness was in front of the car that everything was going down there. But they was able to explain the whole incident. How the fuck is that even possible? What the fuck, they got x-ray vision? Man, they was coerced, man. These motherfuckers developed Tay-K as a witness and pursued them and ain't look at no other options. That's what they did, man.
In age, but still older than him. Tamor is the youngest person in that car. And Tamor is now here in front of you, asking you all to decide how to punish him for this horrible, tragic thing. And keeping that aspect in mind, the motives of the other people, why things were done the way they were, all should be brought to bear, right? The fact that his presumption of innocence has ended does not mean that you all cannot continue to give some credence to the fact that Mr. McIntyre is, like all of you, a human being, and he deserves to have dignity in the way that his punishment is considered. And I want you all to think about some things that are surrounding the circumstances of this case. Because what we're here to talk about is not going to bring Mark back. It is not going to right any of the wrongs that you all have passed judgment about guilt and innocence on. Those things are not fixable. No matter what we were to do, we can't take back time. We can't take back these decisions. We are all having to move forward. And I would submit to you that the criminal justice system and the way that we handle the carceral punishment of people, locking people away, is just one idea out of many in how we address these otherwise unsolvable problems. It is good for the human heart. It's cathartic to try and see that someone is being punished for what they've done. And I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that desire that we all feel, we all experience when we have identified that someone has done something that offends the values of society and that puts us in danger. And I respect that. But we have to also understand that it doesn't do any good to solve one wrong by committing another. And I would submit to you that because you will be asked to consider a wide range of punishment, and I would expect that what will be sought from the state of Texas on your behalf as the punishment will be an exceedingly long term of years to remember that there might be other ways to address problems in society than warehousing human beings. James Joyce, the Irish author, once famously said that Ireland was like a sow that ate her own piglets. And I worry sometimes that in America, that's what we have. We have children who are trapped in the foster system, children who are the victims of abusive parents, of parents with substance abuse problems, children who don't have any chance of having a proper moral compass, a proper guiding system. They have to figure those things out for their own. And unfortunately, they have to do that by trying to live in an adult world as a child. That's a pretty impossible ask. And yet we do it. And we arrest them. And we certify them as adults. And we take them to trial. And we send them to prison for the rest of their life. And the world just keeps on turning. And folks, I just don't see that as being a sustainable model.
It ain't.
It doesn't make anything better.
Nope.
It doesn't make anyone better.
Nope.
A little kindness, a little compassion, even in the face of something that we can all agree is evil, wrong, not acceptable, is always the better road to take. At the end of this, you'll all be asked to make that decision. We can't walk it for you. It's going to be personal to each and every one of you. All we ask is that you hear the evidence, that you understand we're not trying to paint this boy as a saint, and I'm not asking you to forgive him for what he did. I'm just asking you to keep it all in perspective. And understand that while it's easy to say, you did something evil, we're going to throw you away, that as the prosecutor said in her closing argument, that if Tamor treated this boy as a piece of trash, then the implication should be that you should treat him as a piece of trash. Isn't always the answer. Yes, the Bible talks about eye for an eye, but that's the Old Testament. And there is good news, and it's to turn the other cheek. I'd ask you all to keep these things in your mind as you hear the evidence. And I thank you all for your deliberation and your patience with us up to this point.
All right, state, call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls me if y'all does.
I ain't trying to hear this.
Regarding recognition of criminal street gangs.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Yes.
I think we have a right that the witness proffered to the court for the review.
All right, so this is what the court is going to say. I just want to know from this witness, his level of expertise, how is it related to this specific case and this defendant? And I think you can pass for this.
All right. Now, regarding the defendant, Tamor McIntyre, did you gain knowledge that he was incarcerated in the Tarrant County Jail previously to being incarcerated in the Bear County Jail?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you reach out to Tarrant County and obtain records regarding his classification in the Tarrant County Jail? Did you obtain those records that were regularly kept in the course of business there?
Objection, this isn't the witness who could attest to what's regularly kept in the course of business in Tarrant County.
All right, that objection is overruled.
Did you you obtain the documents from Tarrant County?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did they come with a business records affidavit?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And you reviewed that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, thank you. And after reviewing those records,
Alrighty,
were
bro.
you able to form an opinion as to whether the defendant was ever affiliated with a criminal street gang?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, and what gang was that?
He's a member of a Crip gang, otherwise known as the Long Beach Insane Crips.
Okay, and was that determined through a self-identification or what means?
It was determined from a self-identification gang acknowledgement form obtained by Tarrant County.
Okay, and can you just explain to the court what that form is?
So this is a correctional form. It's used in jails and detention. It's used primarily to house individuals. So when somebody comes into a facility, they are approached by what we call a classification officer. This is an individual that houses people in the jail. They're asked a series of questions. One of those questions is going to be, are you a gang member? Many individuals will admit gang affiliation at this time, so they are housed appropriately. They don't want to be housed with rival gangs or things of that nature.
Okay. And do you have knowledge about the Crips criminal street gang?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And based on your knowledge of that gang, do you have an opinion as to the purpose of that gang?
It is a criminal organization. It's a group of individuals that are together for the purpose of committing criminal activities.
What about the neo-Nazi group? They're not a criminal organization too?
They range everything from narcotics all the way up to murder.
So we have witness. All right.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Excellent, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. You indicated that you checked databases to see whether or not Mr. McIntyre was listed as being affiliated with the gang, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you mentioned Tex Gang is a statutorily required, statewide database about gang affiliation in prisons.
Yeah, no, not in prisons. Jails, well, by law enforcement, not exclusive to just jail.
Okay. Just so it could be street people on the streets, people in jails, people in prisons.
Not prisons. Everything but prisons. I checked a separate database for that.
Okay. Are you aware that many gangs have different organizational structures for people who are incarcerated versus people who are out on the street?
I'm not objective.
How does that
go?
It goes directly to his qualification.
All right, so I will hear objections and rulings on that. All right, you can answer the question.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
You're aware that oftentimes when we talk about a criminal gang, that gang may have people on the outside, it may have people on the inside, they often have different organizational structures, right?
That's possible, yes, sir.
Okay. And was it, just so we're clear, was it Tex Gang that you consulted that actually said Taylor McIntyre is a member of this particular gang?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't an independent document from Tarrant County, or it was a document from Tarrant County and Tex Gang? Can you just explain
your
method of determining this a little bit more clearly?
Sure. Tex Gang has a 5-year requirement, meaning that if you're in the system for 5 years and you're not validated, meaning that another law enforcement agency hasn't added to Tex Gang, you are dropped off the system. So McIntyre was in Tex Gang from a earlier admission. He had since dropped off Tex Gang. However, Tex Gang still showed that at one point an entry was made. So to answer your question, I had to do both. The first thing was I acknowledged that there was an initial entry in Tex Gang, but to validate that initial entry to ensure that it is in fact the defendant, I reached out to the county that entered that information, and that county is Tarrant County.
Okay, so to be clear, if we were to go look him up right now, Mr. McIntyre is not in Tex Gang.
He had since dropped off Tex Gang, yes, sir.
5 years ago.
After 5 years, so the original entry date, I believe, was 2017.
Okay, I see. Gotcha. So what? 3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You mentioned that Long Beach insane Crips is a criminal enterprise, basically. Is that your testimony?
The Crips gang is a criminal organization, yes, sir.
Okay, well, you say the Crips gang, you understand there are lots of different subsets of what you call Crips, right?
Yes, sir, there is.
And that many of them have no affiliation with each other whatsoever, right?
That's true, yes, sir.
In fact, some criminal elements that would call themselves Crips are actually fighting each other, right?
That's true.
So you can't say that it's just Crips, therefore it's a criminal enterprise, correct?
Are you talking about this particular gang or all gangs?
I'll withdraw that question. Let me ask you more specifically. Have you ever investigated, other than Mr. McIntyre, any other individual person who's a member of the Long Beach Insane Crips?
No, sir, I have not.
Have you ever encountered anyone who is a former gang member of the Long Beach Insane Crips?
No, sir, I have not.
Do you know anything about the organizational structure of that entity, the Long Beach Insane Crips?
I have some knowledge of it, yes, sir.
Okay, well, when you say you have some knowledge of it, is it based upon your own investigative work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You never investigated anybody associated with that gang, so help me understand.
I never investigated a person associated with that gang, but I have looked into the gang.
Okay, when you say you looked into the gang, you talk about something more.
Sure. So we get reading material that's nationwide, primarily from the International Latino Gang Investigators Association, also from the Regional Organized Crime Investigation Center, that provides reading material from various law enforcement agencies throughout the country. This particular gang, the one you're asking about, sir, is a California-based Southern gang. So when I learned of this particular group, I went to that reading material from the southern part of California. There I was able to learn a little bit more about this gang.
Okay, well, I mean, so for example, my guess is you have more dealings with some of the Latino gangs here in San Antonio, right? There are quite a few of them in jails here.
Yes, sir, there are.
Okay, so for example, you know that what is going on in Los Angeles with a gang like the Latin Kings isn't necessarily reflective of what anyone who calls themselves that in San Antonio is doing. You understand that happens a lot, right?
It's kind of a broad question there, sir. There could be some takeaways from incidents in one state that carries over to incidents in this state.
But oftentimes there's no similarity, right? There are plenty of gangs who don't do the same things or have the same structure in one state versus another. Do you agree?
I cannot agree with that, sir, no.
Okay, you think that all people who affiliate with the gang in every single state where they might be locked up all working under a common objective?
That's why it's called an organized criminal gang, sir. They have an organized structure, they have rank, they have written constitution and manifestos that allows them to remain a structured, organized group, regardless of the state or the location.
Do you have the manifesto of the Long Beach Insane Crips?
I do not, sir.
Do you have any idea who's the leader of the Long Beach Insane Crips?
No, sir, I do not.
Do you know who's the sergeant at arms for that organization?
No, sir, I do not.
Do you know if they even have a sergeant at arms?
I'm sure they do, sir.
I'm sure they do, but do you know if that's what he's called?
No, sir.
Okay, so you don't know anything about the structure of the gang, right?
I have some knowledge about it, sir.
Okay, you read a publication from someone in Southern California.
Yes, sir.
Who authored that?
I don't know, sir.
Okay.
You don't know shit about
You
that
understand that when people get classified, there are often reasons other than organized criminal activity why they might want to be associated with a particular group of people, right?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, well, do you think that someone who's African American going into a jail would say, I'd like to join the Aryan Brotherhood and want to be down as an AB?
Objection, relevant, sustained.
Well, I mean, you understand that there are racial reasons why people join particular groups in jails, right?
Objection, relevant, sustained, scope.
Your Honor, he testified.
This is outside the scope of the expertise. I think my understanding from both parties that the purpose for questioning this witness is to determine whether or not he's an expert in whatever field he's being presented, which appears to the court that he's being presented as an expertise on gang affiliation or gang classification. And then the other question the court wanted to know was how would that be relevant to this case, whether or not it's tied to your client or not. So if we could remain within the bounds of this actual hearing.
Your Honor, I think that pretty well establishes what my objection should be. I'm ready for argument.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Your Honor, the witness is not sufficiently familiar with this organization to be able to give an opinion about whether or not it truly is a criminal enterprise and whether or not Mr. McIntyre is even still a member of it. He has a notation from a database that is no longer considered active by the database, that when he was first booked into Tarrant County, or at some point in the past while in Tarrant County, he was affiliated with this organization. We're backdooring hearsay. I have no ability to confront the individuals who screened it, or as to how it was screened, or whether he got to participate in the screening process, or whether it was done for him. The witness has no personal experience with anyone affiliated with the organization. He's basing this off of what's basically a trade publication from someone in law enforcement in Southern California, without any understanding about how that relates to San Antonio or Texas generally.
Filing your taxes is
he's making a good point. I wonder what the judge is going to do.
Taxes can be a chore.
About this organization.
Basically, saying his testimony is irrelevant.
It would backdoor in hearsay that violates the Confrontation Clause, and its prejudicial effect is through the roof.
It is through the roof.
And there's not even any indication that Mr. McIntyre is still involved with this.
Definitely through the roof.
All right, so this is what the court's question is. One, gang affiliation is allowed as relevant information during punishment. The court is finding that this is relevant, but the next question the court wants some clarification on is, when is this alleged affiliation to have occurred?
They don't know.
So I have the exhibit offered to this witness, but it was when the defendant was incarcerated in Tarrant County back in 2017, and I mean, he hasn't been out on the street since, so I think it's relevant. It goes to evaluating the defendant's background and character, which the defendant has put on issue in his opening statement when he was proffering that the jury was going to hear that the defendant had such a rough upbringing. And this witness is an expert. He has a lot of knowledge dealing with gang members and specifically the Crips. I think Mr. Hunter essentially stipulated that this is a subset of the Crips criminal street gang, and this witness is familiar with that criminal street gang's violent and illegal activities, which he's testified to, and he is able to form an opinion based on the materials that he's reviewed as to the defendant's membership in the organization.
I'm not stipulating anything. This all is conduct that occurred after the offense made in this case, while he was incarcerated, and the witness is, I don't believe, qualified to tell the jury anything about this organization, much less whether it's affiliated with any criminal entity that calls itself Crips, or what its purpose is, or who its membership are, or whether Mr. McIntyre is a member. And so while I would agree with Your Honor that if we had evidence that Mr. McIntyre did this as a gangland shooting, it was for the purpose of advancing a criminal enterprise, it would absolutely be relevant. There is no relevance to the fact that he was booked into Tarrant County, and someone says that back then he identified as being part of this organization. I think that is not relevant, and all it does is to make people believe impermissibly that because of decisions that he made in jail, which you can't really even say are criminal or underhanded, that somehow should have bearing upon how he's punished for this offense that occurred before he was even documented to be part of the offense.
So it's not required by law for it to be relevant as character evidence that the offense that we're here for is tied to his gang admission, and it's not somebody just saying this. The defendant said it back when he was in Tarrant County, and so it's a statement against interest, a statement against party opponent, and I mean, this evidence has been filed with the court since December of 2024, so his objections to hearsay and stuff, I mean, there's an affidavit that is going to authenticate this information.
More to the point is a Crawford is a confrontation issue because it's a double hearsay problem. They're offering the statement as an admission by party opponent, part 5. But what's being discussed here is not the actual admission by the party opponent. What's being discussed here is the entry by a data clerk that he should be classified as a member of a gang that is in the text gang database because of something he said in booking. We don't have the statement exactly that was said in booking. We have a summary of that. So I think that that's the reason why there's a confrontation problem, irrespective of whether it would come in as an exception to hearsay or a non-hearsay statement. But more to the point, I mean, she said a moment ago that it's somehow connected to the offense. There's been no evidence in guilt and innocence that it's connected to the offense.
It doesn't have to be connected to the offense.
Well, I mean,
I did not say that. I said it is not required by law to be relevant in punishment to come in. That's not required. That I proved that he was acting under color of his gang when he committed this.
I know you said that too, but did you not also argue that it's connected to the offense?
I did not say that.
Is going to the court is going to allow the witness to testify. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, does anyone need a break before I allow the jury to come back in?
I would recommend it.
All right. So if I could have y'all back here, 3:50.
I think that was a good argument. I guess all that's gonna do is prejudice the jury. If he was a gang member, if he admitted to be a gang member after the shooting, what the fuck does that got to do with the shooting? The shooting wasn't gang related. What? It's the system. That's how they operate. It's a dirty game. Y'all, we be live 11 o'clock Eastern time. We're gonna buy in. More than likely, he's gonna be sentenced. We'll see what happens. Tay-K dropped the ball, man. That shit crazy. He's fucking 16 years old. 16 years old. Threw his fucking life away. But that's what we gotta do. That's what it is. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and share the live. We gotta get some uploads out, y'all. We're gonna get some uploads out next week. Straight up, y'all. Cause they killing us on our views. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel so never they keep you news in the month.